Hello everyone again. Thank you for joining the session today. My name is Frank, the manager consulting from CTSS. Today's session we go through the iVend Loyalty Standalone. In the webinar on the panel you have a chat box, so if you have any question you just write the message to me. If possible I can answer you immediately, otherwise I will come back to you on the email or we can go through for the forum. Okay. Let's have a look at the agenda for today. We will go through iVend Loyalty Standalone features and how to build the integration with the iVend Loyalty by API. And we will develop example how to integrate between iVend Detail and iVend Loyalty Standalone. Okay. Okay. The loyalty module in the iVend is not new and is already embedded into the iVend retail, and we have a lot of different webinars to talking about the iVend loyalty features in the iVend retail, but here is just one part of the application is iVend Loyalty Standalone. That means it's only have iVend Loyalty module only. There's no else of the rest of the features in the retail like business transaction, POS. We don't have in the Loyalty Standalone. So in here it's just a package of loyalty. So what we have here is we have an administration module and we have a system initialization, application setup, retail configuration, authorization, IT administration. So if you're aware of the iVend retail, we have the same menus, but it's less than iVend retail. So it's just only used for the setup of the iVend application for loyalty standalone. So let's have a look about the application itself. So we have here is a management console for iVend Loyalty Standalone. So we have here the menu of administration and we have a communication setting, country, state, document series, that's it. And we have a application, we have a source grid definition, email, import and export data. We have a retail configuration, only display profile, and we have authorization, we have a IT administration here. And the next module is operation. Operation here is we have only for loyalty. In the iVend retail suite, we have a different kind of function in the operation mode menu, but in here we have only for loyalty standalone. So we have here operation, we have a loyalty, and we have a loyalty programs, loyalty special days, loyalty notification, and on related to loyalty. So we have another menu is store definition, product group, customer, tender type, because during the integration we need the information related to the store information related to the product or product group or even the payment method. The transaction coming from third-party system into the iVend loyalty. And the last one is the report. We have the basic report for the loyalty. We don't have a report for sales, for inventory, because this one is for the loyalty standalone. So we have a loyalty, we have a dashboard, we have a query builder, report builder, dashboard builder, and it's under reports. So you have the loyalty here, you have a dashboard here. So that is the difference between iVend retail suite and the iVend loyalty standalone. Actually, the application is still in the same package with the iVend retail, but when you apply the loyalty standalone license, when you log into the management console, you will see only the limitation of the menus just used for the loyalty only. The rest of the menus will be hidden in the application. Okay. For the loyalty features in the iVend, so the loyalty standalone and iVend retail is the same loyalty process. So if you have a draft on the loyalty, you can have a look back. So the old webinar we already done before about the loyalty, how to set up the loyalty and how the program it was. So basically the business process for the loyalty is we have a loyalty program. that you can define different program, different rule for the program. For example, the customer membership, employee membership, you have a corporate card, you work with the HSBC bank, so you can use the bank card as the member, so you can define different loyalty programs. So this one definitely you define in the Loyalty Standalone application here. And you have a level definition here. You can define gold, silver, platinum, bronze, different level. And then we set up the loyalty plan. So loyalty plan is the policy how the customer can award the point based on the amount I spend. So let's go to the management console and have a look here. We have an operation loyalty program here. You can define the different loyalty program here. So you have a different option here, and again you can check the another webinar to understand how the meaning of the option here. And we have another one is loyalty level. You define the different level for different program, and then you define the loyalty plan where you can set up the very basic that if the customer they spend every $1 they will get 1 point. Okay, so that is very basic thing you need to set up in loyalty program, Loyalty Standalone. And then Loyalty Standalone normally is used for centralize the data, and the third-party system like keep connect into the Loyalty Standalone system to get the point, to check the level. And then the member registration, yes, you can do in the Loyalty Standalone application. You can create a new membership through the management console, or you can create from third-party system, and then you can integrate with the Loyalty Standalone. Okay, so I say here member registration is will be done in third-party system. What the points will be done in the third-party system because the sale transaction will be done in the third-party, and it will be integrated with the iVend loyalty, and loyalty will calculate the point and return back to the third-party system, and redeem also on the third-party system. They will do the redemption, and they send the information to the Loyalty Standalone to update the point. Yeah, so so that is the process, and we have a member registration or the point redeemable. So this thing we need to integrate with the iVend Loyalty Standalone by using API, and what we will go through by today. Okay. And let's have a look on the system landscape, how the system is designed. So basically for the iVend Loyalty Stand, we have only 3 components. We have a iVend Loyalty database. Actually this database and the iVend Retail database is the same structure, it's just different the license. So we use the core system of the iVend, the loyalty course to use for the iVend Loyalty Standalone. And we have a API. The API is the one is running on the IIS, the web service, so you can connect from the third party through the API and post data into the Loyalty Standalone system. And we have a management console. It is the application where you can define the master data, the configuration. So with the Loyalty Standalone, we don't have a integration. We don't have a replication service. We don't have a yes, we have a scheduler service to send the email in the background, but we don't have a offline in the store. And of course, in the landscape, we integrate with third-party systems. So we have a third-party system landscape here. They have the old database, and they have a different application in third-party system. Assume that we don't know this system. So we need to build the integration between iVend Loyalty and third-party system. So the third-party system here, it can be customer relationship management system, another retail system, another ERP system, another contact management system. It also can be iVend retail system. So we will do the integration from the third-party system into the loyalty. Okay, and we have experience on this landscape, especially on the investment company. So the investment company, they will invest into the retail business. They invest their money into different retail chain. So in their investment, is can be the fast food, can be sport, can be the fashion. So they invest into different retail business, and the owner of different retailer is they are running different system. But from the investment company, they want to control the customer and they want to set up the centralized customer. So the customer under the same group, they can enjoy the same benefit in across the store, even they are using different solution. So iVend Loyalty is one of the proposal for them to centralize everything into one system, and the place to calculate the point, control the point, and even they have some customer portal and notification. Okay. Okay, and then we zoom into the detail of how we do the integration, and I separate here into two mode. I said it's a simple mode. In the simple mode, we have only customer information. Yes, of course, we need to send the customer information from third party into the iVend Loyalty. Okay, and the second is transaction, but in the transaction here we have only the header information. We have a transaction date, we have an amount, we have a store ID, we have a user, just for the header level. So with this simple information, we also can send into the iVend Loyalty, and the iVend will calculate the point and send back into the third-party system. And we have another one is the advanced mode. Actually, in the system, we don't separate the simple mode or advanced mode, but the system support the transaction header or even the transaction in detail. Because the loyalty, we can set up the policy that if they buy certain product or particular product group, they can have a different point. So it's not only for total of the transaction, or even by payment method. If the customer they pay by cash, they can have a double point. Then they can pay by credit card, they can have a triple point. So we can set up different loyalty plan in the loyalty standalone. That's why we need to have a transaction detail need to be sent into the loyalty standalone. And beside that, we have a customer group, we have a product group, and the payment method. Okay, if you are using the Excel, we can have a disconnected mode in the integration. That means you from the third-party system, you just export the data into the Excel, and then you can import into iVend Loyalty Standalone for calculate updating the point. Okay, for example, I have a two template here right now for to import the customer and the transaction. So one template is loyalty customer template. So this is the list of the fields that you need to fill in, and you can import into the loyalty standalone. So we have a loyalty ID, the first name, customer group, standard, and the rest of the information. Okay, you save this one, and then you can import into the iVend. From the iVend, from the management console here, you have a administration application setup, and you have import data. Okay, so using this connected mode, you don't need to develop the integration, you don't need to build with the API, you just manually export into the Excel by template and import into the management console. So in here, for example, I select the Excel, iVend document standalone. This is my template, so I choose the customer template. So I choose the name and I choose the object. Here just a few objects. In the iVend retail, you have a long list of the number of the objects in for the importing, but here you have only country, state, loyalty customer. I choose loyalty customer, I click OK, and then it's mapping the field here, and then I click OK. So list of the customer will be imported into the loyalty standalone. So you can go to the operations here, you can go to the loyalty card, and you can see the list of the customer I just created here, F21, and the customer is imported. Okay. That is the first thing. The second template you can import is the transaction. In the transaction, you have three types 360 transaction header. In here you have a transaction ID, transaction date, the loyalty ID, store ID, transaction total, user, all the information for the header. And then the detail, you go to the sale item and you have is the same transaction ID with a link with the header, the transaction ID in the header here. And in the sale item you can list out the detail of product, quantity, price, and total. And the third one is the payment. In the detail, one transaction can be paid by multiple methods, so can be by cash, can be by credit card. So you fill in the detail of the transaction here. And then the same you can import into application setup, import the data, and here you choose the loyalty transaction. Okay. So that is the disconnected mode where you can use the Excel file to import the loyalty member and the loyalty transaction. Okay. Okay, I go through import template, and then we have a connected mode. Okay. Connected mode, that means you need to develop the integration service. You connect from your third-party system and send the data into the iVend using iVend API. So in here, my example, I will build the integration directly connect from third-party system database and post into the iVend loyalty database. So here that I have a advantage, there's no delay because the integration service keep running. You develop, you can set the interval every minute. You can scan the database and you can send to the iVend loyalty. But the disadvantage here is you don't have a monitor screen. If any failure, it's very hard to control. You need to write log or you need to write somewhere to check the error. Okay, but the good thing is you can do directly from database from your third-party system into the iVend. Okay, and we have another method is I use Exchange database. In my another webinar, have the session to say about how to build the integration with the iVend retail. So in that webinar, I go very detailed how to use the Exchange database to integrate from third-party system into another system. But and in that scenarios, using iVend API. So for example, you have a CRM system, you have a POS system, you have an ERP system, and different companies, but it's under same group. You need to integrate with the iVend loyalty where you centralize your customer. And not on the system they have a SDK or the EI API to get the data. So different systems, they have a different way to capture the information. And of course, the partner, you are also not experienced for all the system here. You need to ask your partner to extract the data and send into the Exchange database. Okay, so and then your job is just getting the data into Exchange database and integrate with the iVend loyalty. So everything will done will connect between third-party system and iVend database is through Exchange database. Okay. Then let's go through the iVend API for loyalty. Okay. For the iVend API for the iVend retail, we have another webinar also, but in this session we just picked out some of the methods that used for the loyalty standalone. So basically, we have a loyalty card information, that is the detail, the object where you can get the membership information, and we have an object for loyalty transaction and customer summary where you can get the available point, accumulate point on the point information. And we have a methods to register the loyalty customer into the iVend API, and we save the loyalty transaction get point summary. So when you can't register loyalty customer, it will return you the object loyalty card information, and then you can't save loyalty transaction, it will return the object of the loyalty transaction. And the same when you can't get point summary, it will return you the object customer summary. Okay, so in detail we will go through one example for that. Okay, so that is the API. And more information that if you are not familiar with the iVend API, then I can show you that from the IIS. Here where the iVend we installed, and you can see that the iVend API will be installed here, and here I have a loyalty here. So I can browse the web service where the iVend API is installed. And the next we will go through one example, build the integration, and then we go to the development part. So basically, if you are the developer, you may understand better than it's required a technical skill. So basically, in my example, I will use VB.NET, the easy language for everyone to understand how I process. And I will add the API reference connect to the iVend Loyalty API, and I will develop the Windows service, which one is can run in the background and a little bit in the SQL server, the database. And of course, in my example, I connect the iVend retail into the iVend Loyalty. So I will also open the iVend POS system. And this is how to create the new Windows Service project. In the Visual Studio, you create new project and you choose Windows Service. And in here, in the Windows Service, I have a project here. I already create the Windows Service. And I will add one timer into this service. Let it keep running every seconds. Okay. And it will do my job here. Okay. In my Visual Studio, I will go through service reference. I add the API, the iVend Loyalty API into the reference, and then I can call the methods from the API. Okay. And in my example scenario, see, I connect directly from iVend Retail and iVend Loyalty Standalone. So I build the integration here. I connect to the iVend Retail API and iVend Loyalty API. Okay. So assume that in the iVend Retail system, I disable the loyalty features because the loyalty is already embedded into the iVend Retail from 6.4 already. So before it's standalone, but from 6.4 is already embedded into the iVend Retail system. So in my scenarios, I will disable the loyalty in the iVend Retail because maybe you can have a many iVend Retails enterprise where you can't share cross the customer from this iVend database into another iVend database. So that's why you need to have an iVend Loyalty Standalone where you can integrate it with different iVend Retail system. Okay. So this is my iVend Retail where I don't have the loyalty module here. Okay. But in the customer information, I create some user-defined fields for the customer to manage the available point, the level, the program. So it's under application setup and user-defined fields. I have a customer here. So I define the level. I create a new user-defined field to update the level. I have another field for loyalty point, available point. I have an option is that the customer is the loyalty member, and I have a field for program. Okay, so for example, I create a new customer from the iVend system here. So in the standard, we will have an option that is loyalty member here, but because we already disabled the loyalty feature, so it's not available here. But we have a user-defined fields here. The trend is just another demo example here at the level. Even you update or you don't update this field, our service will override receive available points, also the read-only information. But we have an option here is the loyalty member. We check here, this is the loyalty member, and we select the program. So we have a two program is demo stack and employee, which is the same with the loyalty program that we define into the loyalty standalone system. In the program, we define demo stack and employee. Okay. So I select the demo stack. I create the new customer. I says EC iVend retail 01. Okay. So I click OK to save the new customer. Okay. So basically in the iVend loyalty, I already set up under the program that if the new customer on registration, they will award the points as the bonus. So we have an option in the loyalty program here that is award bonus points on registration, they will get 30 points. Okay. So that means after we integrate the new customer from the iVend retail into the loyalty, we will get 30 points. Okay. So we will run the service to send the data from the iVend retail into the iVend loyalty. So I have a two web service connection here. Is one from connect to the loyalty API and another one to connect to iVend unplugged API. So I have a two integration service client here. So in my main shop is I call the function of direct integration. So I go to this method. In the iVend, we support the get queue to list out all the pending data need to be integrated with the third-party system. So in the iVend retail, we can define the number of the application you want to integrate to. So in the iVend retail, if you go to administration, application setup, and under IT administration, and it's under register application. So I define that from the iVend retail, I will integrate with iVend loyalty. So I define one application here is iVend loyalty. So in here, I just integrate the customer and the loyalty only. I don't need to integrate. I don't need to integrate the rest of the objects. So I just only integrate two. Okay. So if I click event monitor here, I see that the customer is updated into the iVend retail. So this information need to be sent to the iVend loyalty. So I run the service here. I just keep the debug here. So I will go explain a bit about the code is how we will get and send the information into the iVend loyalty. So let me run this one. Okay, so it's go to the queue and it's list all the object available in the queue, and one of the object is the customer. Okay, so I check if the customer is have the field of each loyalty is true, that means the option of the each loyalty member is tick, then we will integrate with the loyalty system. Otherwise, we don't need to send the customer into the loyalty system. So I go through this one. I define the object iVend customer as the loyalty card information, and I get the loyalty program ID, I get the customer ID, first name, last name, and finally I call the method register loyalty customer. Okay, so when I call this method, I pass the information from the iVend retail into the iVend loyalty, and if it succeeds, and then it will return. There's no error message in the return object here. Okay, because of we have a 30 points bonus when we register the new member, so we need to update back into the iVend retail that the new point is 30. So when we stop here, let's go to the iVend loyalty, and I search for the customer. So we have a new customer, the iVend retail 01 in the loyalty standalone. And when we check this one, we see that this is under level is member available point is 30 points on registration. Okay, so we go to the iVend retail, we check the customer. So the last one is iVend retail that we just created here, and we see that the information is not updated because it just sent the information into the iVend loyalty standalone. We didn't receive the updated information back to the iVend. So let me run another code. Is getting the customer get point summary information. So when we call this method, it will return the current status of the loyalty member. So I will update back into the iVend retail that I update in the user defined field, the slave that is the level, okay, by current slave, and I update a variable points into the user defined field, and I call save customer. Save customer is the method of the iVend retail. So we need update back into the third party system that the customer already updated have a new point. So I done. So I go back to the iVend retail. I cancel this one. I click source again. I select the iVend retail 01. I click edit. And you scroll down, you see that the level is already a member and a variable point is 30. Okay, so these two information is updated from the iVend loyalty. So let's say the same for any third-party system. Whatever system you have, you want to integrate with the iVend loyalty standalone, you need to create a new field that is level, and another field is the variable point. Okay, and two more fields just for information is loyalty member. You check if the loyalty, then you send to the integration. If not, then you don't need to pass. Okay. So that is the first step in the integration. We send the customer in from the third-party system into the iVend loyalty standalone, and we get the updated information after registration. Whatever the change into the loyalty standalone, we get the information and update back into the third-party system. Okay. And the second example is we will create the sales into the third-party system, and we award the point to the loyalty. Okay. So I have done the create the customer into the iVend post. Now I create the sale transaction in the iVend post and check if they award some more additional points. So in my iVend retail system, in the user defined field, I have a 30 points. Now I run the POS. This is the iVend POS. I select the customer source. I select the last one, the iVend retail 01. iVend retail 01. I click OK. I scan the member, the product. Okay, skip this. It's a promotion, and then we complete. So this is standard of the iVend retail system. So the similar thing you will have in third-party system where you can record the transaction, the sale information. So I can complete. Okay. So in the iVend retail, when you complete the transaction automatically go to the buffer, the queue, and you can read the transaction from the queue. And when I run the integration service here, the code here, I skip the lines in the transaction, and I will check the transaction. I will save loyalty transaction into the loyalty standalone system, and then the similar thing I will get if the transaction is successful into the loyalty standalone. I will retrieve again the loyalty point information if it's successful, and then I update back into the third-party system. Here is the iVend retail. So let me run this code, and we should skip here. Let's go to the transaction. I run line by line. Okay, so in here I check that if the customer information in the transaction is the loyalty. Because it's not the loyalty, then we don't need to send the information into the loyalty standalone system. And we check the transaction if transaction has the sales, because we don't integrate for the order or for the another transaction. It's for sale. So in here you can do some more validation. For example, the refund, the exchange, the redemption, and another method. So in my example, I just do very basic that if you have sales and you send the transaction information into the loyalty transaction. Okay, so I go through, I call the method save loyalty transaction, and if it's success and then I send the customer back into the third-party system. So the message here is success. So I go next. I can't get point summary from the loyalty standalone, and then I update back into the user defined field in the third-party system. Okay, and I call the save customer in the third-party system. Here is the iVend retail. So I call save customer. Now I go to the third-party system. The customer information here, I click search again. I choose iVend retail 01. I check the information. In here you see there is the member, but the point is right now is 53. So it's already increased from the transaction. And I switch into the loyalty standalone. I also check the retail 01. I click view. Here is the point is also calculated by the system is the same. And here you can see the loyalty points details. Okay, so you see the first point is 30 coming from registration bonus point, and the second is 23 is from the transaction number 157. So we have the detail in the loyalty standalone. Okay. Okay. In my example, I just do very simple that we have we create the customer, we create the sales, and we check the update point into the third party. But we have some more scenario that you need to cover into your program that we need to check if the refund and we reduce the point, and if the third party they redeem the point, and we need to update back into the iVend loyalty that the third party they already redeemed the point, and they need to send the information into the iVend loyalty. Okay. In my code, I have advanced scenarios that we integrate with multi-system. Okay, I come back the landscape here. Okay, we integrate with, for example, with the SAP B1 and the iVend together, two systems into the iVend loyalty standalone. With the iVend, we can get queue and we can get the records we need to get from the iVend system, but for another third-party system, we don't have that method. For example, with SCB B1, so I use the chain database. So let me open the SQL server and I show the chain database and how we manage the many system in integration with the iVend loyalty. So in the database, I create the new database is CS Exchange DB. So in here I have a very simple that I have a two table. One is for customer and one is for loyalty transaction. Okay, so in this table I have a few columns that I have a customer code, first name, last name, level, program, available point, and target system. The reason we have a target system is one, the information is updated from one system and it needs to be sent to the rest two system. For example, the customer is created in the SAP, so it needs to be sent into another iVend retail and another loyalty standalone. So we need to have a target system, and we keep get the error message here. So I select this table. It have some dummy data which I did the test before. Okay. For SAP B1, yes, we don't have the queue method, but we have a notification store, and then you can capture the information from that. So in the third-party system, by somehow you can get the information when they save the customer. For example, in my transaction, I use post transaction notification here. So whenever the customer is created in the SAP B1, and then you can capture the customer, then you insert into the exchange database. And then from the integration service, you can scan the customer table in the exchange database and you get the information from there. Okay. So in my code, I also have some example for this, but we don't have a time to go through very detailed how is it done. For example, in SAP B1, I will get the customer from Exchange database. I select the query that I select the customer where receive dash is none and the target system is SAP B1. And this is one of the third-party system they need to connect into the Exchange database and they get the information for them. And then I save the customer into the SAP B1. And another service is another iVend retail. I also scan the new customer in the iVend retail and I send it to the Exchange database. So I insert into the customer. I insert for both. One is for loyalty standalone and another one is for SBO. That means I send the information into two systems. And the same after we save the transaction, then we need to send the customer information back into the third-party system, because when you save the customer into the loyalty standalone, you will get the updated point and you need to send back the latest information to the third-party system. So actually this session is require the developer technical skill. So it will help you to have an idea how to use the iVend loyalty and why we need to have iVend loyalty standalone, which you can connect into different third-party system by disconnected mode or connected mode. For connected mode, yes, you need to build the integration service. Yeah. And it's time for question and answer. If you have any question, just raise your question in the chat box. Uh, there's a question from Remy. That what is the technical tools need to integrate loyalty to third-party system? Well, we don't have like technical tool. We just have two methods. Let me scroll back into the slide. Remy, thank you for the question, and let me come back into the slide that I went through. That we have a disconnected mode. That means you export the data from the third-party system to Excel, and then you import from Excel into the loyalty. And in the loyalty, we have a management console where you can import the Excel. And another mode is the connected mode. That means you need to build the integration. And it is right now I'm using Visual Studio. I can say this is a technical tool. Is that your questions? There's another question from 1G that where can we find the methods for register customer? I think you are asking about the loyalty standalone API. So the method is coming from the API, then you need the head file to check on the available methods for the loyalty standalone. And the list of the viable API methods is in our website, the API head file. You can download from CKP and you can have a look from here. For example, I have one of the document iVend loyalty API head file. So in here you can see all the methods from here. It's have a sample code here how to build the integration service and all the objects here. Yeah. Yes, one is that if you try to check the head file, if some of the method you are not clear, you can reach to me, or you can post the question into forum. Yeah. Yeah. So the mainly in this session is try to share the purpose of the loyalty standalone and how we can connect the third party into the loyalty standalone by using the Excel file and develop the integration with using very basic method in my in my sample that you call the save loyalty, you can save the transaction. It's very basic. So when you build the integration with the real project, then you need to cover some more scenarios. Yeah. If you have any more question, just raise the question. Yeah. Maybe you don't have a question at the moment because it's the first time you have a look into the loyalty standalone and the integration. When you go into the prospect or the solution proposal, you may have a different question. So feel free to reach to my email and also go to the forum portal and you can post the question there. I will follow up in the forum. So the last session, the last slide, I would like to thank you everyone to join the session, and I keep my email in my last slide here. So you can see my email. If you have any question, you can drop me the email. Okay, thank you everyone and have a good day.